Hi guys, so I got this request in my DM and it led to a very interesting conversation. And I'd like you people to follow this video so you can learn one or two things, because if you saw the screenshots I sent, you will see where I sent a series of voice messages. But while I was sending the message, I said, I told my client, I think it would be a good idea for me to make a video about this, because I'm sure there will be a number of other people that are going to have these questions in their mind and they want to learn. Now, basically what we're going to talk about here is drug development. Now, it could be herbal drug development, it could be any other, just anything that is a therapeutic substance used to treat one or two things in human beings is regarded as a drug. So this is drug development. Now, my client asked me, she asked, do you have wormwood? And I said, well, this is the wormwood we have. We have sweet wormwood, or the one they commonly call sweet wormwood, which is Artemisia annua. We have that. And I told her. And then she told me, what she wanted was wormwood. I said, well, there are so many different types of wormwoods. As a matter of fact, there are close to, if not more than 50 different species of wormwood, each of them with their varying degrees of medicinal properties. So I asked her which particular one. So that's when she now told me, she's trying to formulate something for treating parasites. I'm sure she got it online, the formula. So I had to explain something to her so she can understand. Is that a lot of times when you want to when you want to get information online, most of the information you see online are for laymen. It is a layman type of information. There is nothing really specific about that information. So she sent me a list of herbs and she said, these are for getting rid of parasites in the body. Now, let me explain this whole thing to you, because I said this is product development and it's a little bit more complicated than how a lot of people think it is. Now, you have a list of herbs that are supposed to be used to treat parasites, right? Gotten from maybe a post on Instagram or somewhere online. Now, parasites are organisms that need a host to be able to survive. That means they cannot live outside a living thing. So they are basically parasites. They are unwanted. They are living there, taking nutrition from you to survive. If you keep them out of your body, they cannot live on their own. Now, there are several types of parasites that can infect human beings. There are different types. Mostly are intestinal parasites, right? Hookworm, roundworm, tapeworm, and so on and so forth. Now, when you want to formulate a herbal formulation, there are so many things you need to keep at the back of your mind. Okay, number one, that is in terms of we're talking about anti-parasitic now. Let's not talk about any other. Let's stick to parasitic drugs or parasitic drug development. So what you need to know is that there are different types. That's one. So you have to know all the common parasites that infect the human body. Task number one. Task number two, study their life cycle. What are their different life forms? Their eggs, their larvae, and their adults. Among the larvae stage, there is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. For some parasites, they have stage 4. What you should understand about parasites is that there are drugs that target specific life stages. Some drugs will only target the eggs. Some will only target the parasites, even at a particular level of the parasite. And some will only target the adults. So you could find a situation where you could create a herbal formulation and it's only killing off the adults. It's not killing off the eggs. It's not killing off any of the stages of the larvae. So that is a challenge. So first of all, you have to list all the common parasites known to humans. And then you have to pick them one by one. And then do your research on each of the plants that you want to use for each of the parasites. So you will check what stage of the parasite's life does this particular plant target. That's number one. Number two, how potent is this plant against this particular parasite? Maybe the eggs, larvae stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and adults. So in science, we have what we call effective concentration, or EC50, effective concentration that kills 50% of the organisms. So based on that EC50 value, you can be able to tell the EC50 value for the eggs, for instance, of a hookworm. Let's pick Artemisia annua, which is what we sell. You will check the Artemisia annua. First of all, the type of extract matters. If it is a herbal tea, then it is an aqueous extract. If it's a herbal tea, then it's an aqueous extract that you have applied heat. So you have to look for information on aqueous extracts from hot extraction. And then check the EC50 of the aqueous extract against the eggs, the larvae stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4, if that has a stage 4, and the adult for hookworm. So the EC50s will tell you which stage of the parasite's life will this particular extract of Artemisia annua target the most. So you know that's what is going to be clearing in the body. Okay, now you might be lucky and have a plant that is broad spectrum, but there are very few plants like that. That's why for parasite cleanse, you actually have to sit down and formulate it with scientific principles guiding you. So many of those formulas you may come across online, they are not accurate enough for you to take and use as a formula because you don't know what it is doing to the parasites. Do you understand? So you don't know whether it's clearing all the parasites or there are some that are resistant to it already. You don't know what stage of the parasite's life cycle that it is targeting. You don't know how effective it is against that parasite, that in the individual life cycle stages of that parasite. And mind you, there are over 10 different types of parasites that can affect human beings. So you have to do the same rigor for each of those parasites. It is only then that you can be able to curate a herbal formulation. And sincerely, for parasite cleansing, you need something complex that will target each of those individual parasites and their individual life cycles and kill them off. Otherwise, you just have a situation where the patient is you're just using it. Maybe what happens is that it just kills off the adults. But once the adults die, there are eggs there waiting to hatch. Those eggs will hatch into larvae, and those larvae will grow back into adults. So all you have is a vicious cycle of taking parasite cleanses over and over and over again and never really clearing it out of your body completely or clearing them out of your body completely. So this is what is called drug development. It is more complex than all the things people see online. Because for instance, anybody that is giving you a formula should be able to tell you, not tell you wormwood, tell you this species of wormwood, Artemisia annua. Then tell you it is effective against hookworm, roundworm, keenworm, that worm. And the adult stage, this is efficacy, this is the EC50. The larvae stage 1, this is the EC50. The larvae stage 2, this is the EC50. 3, 4. Then adult form, this is the EC50. Then it will move on to the next herb. This next herb, these are all the parasites it's effective against. These are the EC50s of the different life cycle forms. I hope you understand. And this information, you can only get them from scientific databases. You cannot get them on Google. You can't get them on Instagram. See what a lot of people do on Instagram. They create content. I create content too because a lot of times I can say, oh, this is used for this. But when it gets to the nitty-gritty of making that into a medicine, there has to be a rigor that goes into it. So sometimes I always point out in my post that this is for laymen. It's just for educational purposes. But if you now want to make that herb, I have to do it myself using all the rigors. That's how you develop products from the scratch. So when you have for instance, like we have a parasite cleanse, it is already developed, broad spectrum, attacks different stages of the parasite life cycle. And then I choose the herbs that have the highest EC50 against different life cycles. And that's what goes into the formula. And then the ratio at which they go into the formula also matters. So take some things you see on Instagram as a pinch of salt, because if they go into details, the Instagram post itself cannot accommodate all the information that you should know about it. Like for instance, now this is going to be a long video, but if I were to break down how to make a parasite cleanse, I probably have to do 30 different Instagram posts, and people are going to get tired. So all I can simply say is, oh, this wormwood, this, that, and then if you're interested, come, I'll formulate it for you. And then you know that when you are taking it, it's going to be effective. So this is just a very short video on how to develop parasite cleanses. It doesn't go into full details. It is just a summary, okay? And also trying to educate you people to understand what it takes to do drug development. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of brain work and a lot of research.